All right, let's read John 12, the supper at Bethany. Then Jesus, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus, which had been dead, whom he raised from the dead. So at Bethany, Lazarus was there. There they made him a supper, and Martha served. But Lazarus was one of them that sat at the table with him. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment. Then saith one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, which should betray him, why was not the ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? This is what Judas said. Then this he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had a bag and bare what was put therein. He had the ointment in the bag. Then said Jesus, let her alone against the day of my burying hath she kept this. For the poor always ye have with you, but me ye have not always. Much people of the Jews therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might see Lazarus also, whom he had raised from the dead. But the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death. The head priest who was coming to the supper where Jesus was, they wanted to see Lazarus, but they wanted to put him to death, because that by reason of him many of the Jews went away from the synagogue and they believed in Jesus. Because when Lazarus was raised from the dead, they all left and they started following Jesus. The triumphal entry. On the next day, much people that had come to the feast, when they heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem, they took branches of palm trees and went forth to meet him and cried, Hosanna! Blessed is the King of Israel that cometh in the name of the Lord. And Jesus, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon, as it was written. He sat on the back of a donkey, and he rode in on the donkey, and they were waving those leaves. Fear not, daughter of Sion. Behold, the king cometh sitting on a colt's ass. These things understood not his disciples at the first, but when Jesus was glorified, then remembered they that these things were written of him, and that they had done these things unto him. The people, therefore, that was with him, when he called Lazarus out of his grave and raised him from the dead, they bear record. They understood it because they was with him when he raised Lazarus. For this cause the people also met him, for that they had heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, perceive ye how ye prevail nothing. Behold, the world is gone after him. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. And Jesus answered. We're down here in 12 and 23. And he answered, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. So let's look at, what does the Son of Man being glorified mean? Let's look at Mark 26 and 45. He must be glorified. Let me take a look at Mark 26, 45. 1 second. See if we get any kind of different reading on this 1 hour. He must be glorified. 26 and 45. Then we're going to go right back to the reading. I'm not going to do this real quick. Is it 26? It says 23, Matthew 26, I'm sorry, Matthew 26 and 45. There's no 26 in Mark. Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, Sleep on now and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me. Verily, verily, this is Jesus now, we're in 12:24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. In other words, you got to plant a corn seed for the corn to grow up. You got to plant the seed. I think, I don't want to read into it. It says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, must die, it lives alone until it dies. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. I believe this is symbolic of him dying and rising again to bring all the people unto him. You know, he said, I must die in order for sin to be forgiven. Because if he did not die, if he did not allow himself to be taken so that he could die on a cross, there would be no way for man to be redeemed. There would be no way for sin to be forgiven. So this is symbolic of him saying, you know, I must die in order to bring the souls in to heaven. We are considered the fruit. We're considered the fruit of God. But however, if Jesus didn't die, there will be no redemption for man. You understand that? Okay, and then we're in 25. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. Life is just a fleeting thing. So, you know, after you die, there's another living. If you believe in God, there's another living. But if you don't believe in God, there's no other living. There's no eternal. So in 26, it says, if any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. Now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this cause came I unto this hour. He lived just to get to this hour to die. Basically, he's saying. In 28, it says, Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. The people, therefore, that stood by and heard it said that it thundered. Others said, an angel spake to him. And Jesus answered and said, this voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. This he said, signifying what death he should die. Okay, so let's stop right there. He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. So this is his death. He's going to be lifted up onto the cross to die, of course. However, once he died, the third day, he will come back into a spiritual realm of living, which he said that if I die, you're going to die, and you're going to do the same thing I did. You're going to come back into a spiritual realm of living, just like he died and he was risen. The people that follow him will die and they will be risen as well. So that was him signifying what death he should die. And then in 34 it says, the people answered him, we have heard out of the law that Christ abideth forever. And how sayest thou, the Son of Man must be filled up? Who is this Son of Man? They're still questioning him, like, who are you? Then Jesus said unto them, yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Jesus, and departed, and did hide himself from them. So he just telling them, you keep questioning. They keep questioning him. Who are you? You're the Son of Man. He came here to live and to die. Basically, that's what he said. I'm here to show you the way. And he was like, he set the example of the way that people should live through, telling the disciples. He had the 12 disciples, and they are to do the things that he did. He was just a living example. Now, the disciples were to start the new church, start out, having churches set up, and they went from place to place, setting up all the churches, preaching the word of God and doing the things like that. But he came here as a living example to live and die so that we could overcome the death, which is dead, and go into eternal life. So he just came here as a living example, basically, is what he's saying. And he said that you must understand these things that I have told you, and stop questioning and just try to understand, And here's 37, but though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not that he was the living Christ. So I'm saying, even though he had done all these things, and they've seen all these things, they even heard God speaking to him from heaven, saying that, this is your time to die, and I'm going to glorify you. I'm going to bring you into the eternal. They heard the voice from heaven, and they said, oh, it's thunder. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. They made excuses. And they still didn't believe him. And then we're down here in 38. It says that this saying of Esau, the prophet, might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who hath believed our report, and to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed? Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, he had blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. So the prophet Isaiah said, some scriptures here about how their heart was hard and how they didn't understand all these. Okay, so in 41 said, these things said Isaiah, whom he saw his glory and spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. So they did believe, but they were afraid to say what they believed because they didn't want to go to jail and they didn't want to lose their positions. For they loved the praise of men more than the praise of God. Amen. And in 44 it says, Jesus cried and said, He that believeth on me believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. So if you believe in Jesus, you believe in God. That's what he's saying here. And then it says, and he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. If you see Jesus, you see God, the Father and the Son. That's what he's saying. I am come a light into the world, that whoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. And he that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him the word that I have spoken. The same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment which I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. And then you go into John 13, which is the last Passover before he's taken away to be hung on the cross. So that's that. We're going to take a break. We'll pick up on John 13 and keep going on from there because we need to get through with John to get into the book of Acts. We're going to stop right here with John 13 tomorrow. So everything that he speak, he's saying, I'm speaking it because the Father, I have prayed. I went up to prayer, and this is the words that the Father had given me to say to you all, that it may be written. And then he said, in this book here, talking to the people of that time, but even though it was written for the people of that time, it was also written for us. He said, when he goes into by himself off into prayer, then he come back and he says, God's speaking through me, because he's anointed as a priest. Even though he was kicked out of the synagogue, he was anointed as a priest to speak to the people. And some were believing, a lot of them believed, especially the ones that had miracles performed to them. But even the people that were the priests in the different synagogues, they believed too, but they were afraid because they had high positions and they didn't want to lose their positions, or, they always made some other excuse. So, you have to give an account to what you believe and why you make excuses, overall in the end. So I'm going to take a break, guys. We'll pick up on the next chapter next. Have a good day.